Oh, digital clips. I haven't seen that logo in a long time.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Hi everyone, this is audap'strophe. Let's check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, and it's digital clips. Like I said, we haven't seen the digital clips logo for a while. Quite a while, really. Credits and Rumble. those are my options. Games, online, local play, Turtles Lair. Well, let's just look at the games. We won't do like a really deep dive into all the games. I mean, there's 13 of them. So we'll take a look at them real fast, and then we'll have individual sessions for each game over the next couple of weeks. Much like we were doing with Capcom Arcade Cabinet. Anyway, this is Ninja Turtles. This is the game that started it all. It's the arcade version. Later on in the same year, the NES version was released. So this came first as far as releases went, or what was available to audiences. How about that? Oh, well, that's a small screen. Okay, well. Oh, they changed the title song. What, do they not own the rights to the original song? That actually wouldn't surprise me if that was true. Where's the options? Do I have to look at this screen this small? Really? It doesn't even tell you what buttons are or what. Wow. Okay. Right trigger. Screen size. Full. Wide. No, never. Full is good. We have a filter. We have a border. We'll turn that off. Okay, you have to actually get into the game. Y is attack. Yeah, of course I was around to play this game. Old enough to have actually played this when it was released in the arcades. It can be like every other teenager and kid. Absolutely loved and played this game. Wherever they could, where it was available to play. Seems archaic now, I think, to most audiences, but it was just a really well done arcade beat 'em up. And the genre was still, incredibly popular. Unlike now, where basically the genre is a niche genre, and you very rarely see releases of it. Let's take a look at maybe some filters. TV filter. Does that mean scan lines? Yeah, that means scan lines. Monitor filter. That means dot pitch, so even smaller horizontal vertical borders. LCD filter. That's if you owned like a $10 monitor from Goodwill. Oh, none of these filters are what I'd like. I just want like a basic aliasing, anti-aliasing filter. No? Not gonna happen, huh? course, they did eventually release a version of this game on the NES, but not the very first time out. Like I said, most people played this game first. I said it was available in arcades before the NES release. And then the NES version came out, which was, you know, it wasn't developed by the same team, or it was never intended to be a port of this game. You know, it was just a standalone game that they developed to be released in the same year. You know, a much more traditional NES style game, you know, adventure game. You know, and well, you know, infamously known for its difficulty. But this game is too. This game is a pretty difficult game. But it's an arcade game. You know, you're not supposed to be able to play it for very long. It's only meant to be played in very small spurts. You know, for 25 cents at a time. So yeah, it's going to be cheap and unfair. that's kind of the basis of the game. It's how they make money. Yeah, it's too bad there isn't just just like a softening filter. That's kind of a shame. All right, so that was the first game, the one that started it all. We got Turtles in Time, which was the sequel, the arcade sequel. Again, you know, I'm like most other people in that. You know, I played this game when it came out in the arcades. Except this time around, when the Super Nintendo was out, it didn't really disappoint us with a conversion. Was this always the theme song? God, it sounds weird. Oh yeah, this is not the original song that played. Okay, it looks like the options are universal too, so it's not locked into each game. I guess that's good and bad depending on how you look at it.
This is April O'Neil reporting.
Hey, Krang! Bring that statue back, you bloated beanbag!
Yeah, again, offered more expensive moves, better control, better visuals. You know, still the same great beat 'em up gameplay, but just more expanded. A little better hit detection as well. Character's a little bigger, so yeah, it's everything a sequel, you know, should have been, especially for an arcade game. You know, highly successful. And yeah, I mean, this is playing at full speed. I mean, I wouldn't have expected any less. But, you know, we have seen some bad emulation here and there on the Switch. But it's nice that Digital Clips actually took the extra time to make sure that things ran at the correct speed, you know, that they were playable. They didn't go crazy with the filters, unfortunately, so I would have liked to have seen some more filter options. But, yeah, it is what it is. I think, you know, you're just getting the arcade experience as it would have been, you know, if these modern systems existed at this time.
Prepare to die!
Yeah, and like a lot of kids growing up, you know, a lot of Gen Xers growing up. You know, I was into the Turtles animation as well. Not so much the original comics, although you know, they obviously became more popular once the show was created. But the comics are, you know, they're a different beast altogether. They're, They really don't share a whole lot of DNA between each other outside of the main characters and a couple of key antagonists. But like a lot of the characters that I think a lot of people grew up with, they were only part of that universe of the animated show.
Eliminate the turtle.
Yeah, like a lot of games at this time, made during this time, it's kind of hard to tell what plane your character is on without looking at the shadows.
Cowabunga! Alley Cat Blues.
Okay, next game. There's a lot of games to go through. Alright, then we're getting into the Super Nintendo version of the arcade sequel, which I think most people agree that this is the pinnacle of the game series, the console ports. This is like the best of all of the games. Oh yes, look at those Mode 7 graphics. Out to amaze you. Okay, there's our Super Nintendo options. I tried playing this, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I kind of forgot how difficult the game was when you're first starting out. You eventually learn the ins and outs of the game, and you can get through it with, I'm pretty sure I got through it without using any continues. Minimal loss of life, but you certainly don't start off that way. It's kind of interesting the order that these games are presented in. I'm just hitting right to pick my titles, so maybe I had to pick up and down or left and right, or who knows. Yeah, they definitely. They modified the gameplay to be more console-like, so that it wasn't so much. It didn't feel so random. What your turtles were doing, and you had more control over how they behaved and the moves that came out. Which again, it's why I think a lot of people consider this to be the definitive version of the Turtles beat 'em up games. Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm sure this will be compatible on Steam Deck. It's Digital Eclipse, although it's kind of hard to say. Like I said, it's been a while since we've seen a title from them. But generally, like when they were releasing games, before there was Steam, they were generally pretty well made. So I think it won't be a problem. But I think a lot of people are the most curious about the Switch version, or at least that's what I'm gauging the most interest in. Again, it takes a lot of good inspiration from the arcade game, You know, and puts it into a more console style gameplay. You know, you lose the benefit of having 4 players, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think that a lot of people had multi-taps for the Super Nintendo. I mean, I don't think I earned one. I don't think I bought one until maybe Bomberman 2 came out. I think that's when I finally broke down and got one. But you know, they were, you know, all that stuff was expensive back then. So you know, things are, you know, markedly more affordable now. You know, and you know, I didn't have an adult job to pay for all my video game habits. All I had were, you know, service jobs, labor jobs. That was it. But you know, I was a busser for many years in my high school days. That's where I earned my game money. Yep, they give you a health bar for your bosses, which obviously wasn't a thing in the arcade. You know, much more regular patterns for the bosses. They don't cheat their patterns like they did in the arcade.
Alley Cat Blues.
All right, next game. TMNT Tournament Fighters. Is this the Super Nintendo one? I think so. Yeah, I really didn't like this game that much. You know, it's an okay one-on-one fighting game, but a majority of the moves are hold moves. So it's a, you know, hold back a direction or hold down and back a direction, and then forward and a button, which is like my least favorite kind of way to perform a you know, a special move in a fighting game. But this game pretty much has all of those. I mean, like, most of the moves are charge moves. I don't know who at Konami at the time loved that style. You know, I really like the rolling moves more myself, where, you know, you're rolling a quarter circle or a full circle or a half circle. I find those much more reliable. Or I guess I just never got the timing of the charge move. You know, I know some people out there prefer it. I have no recollection of this game at all. Like I said, I didn't like it that much, so I didn't take a lot of time to memorize it. Yeah, again, I think it's competent enough, especially since it's a console fighting game. I don't think there was ever an arcade game of this.
Round 2. Fight.
But, you know, Street Fighter was still super popular here, so I don't know if this game ever really had an audience. I really didn't know anybody else that had it. I mean, I did own it. at one point in time. But you know, everybody was either playing Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Nobody was interested in playing a Turtles fighting game. It just wasn't a thing. At least not around my friends. One more minute. Okay, I doubt I'll even win this. Like I said, I don't remember anything about this game. Although, you know, the game does come with a strategy guide, so so we can look at what's the manual, all the special moves if you ever want to invest time into it. As I said, most characters have charge style moves. Only a couple really have the rolling style moves. So if you didn't know anything at all and you didn't want to read the manual, then you can almost guarantee that that a forward charge or a back charge plus a button plus a punch and a kick would get you something. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's going to really do that to like get good at this game, but it does feature like rollback netcode for this game in particular. So I am told that the lag is minimal, or not, you know, not that noticeable, depending on you know, what region your competition's in too. Yeah, there's only so far. It's only so fast the packet can move. You know, if you're, you know, in different parts of the country. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to end that. My computer just happened to know everything that needed to be done. That's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to invest too much time into that game. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just, you know, just a one-on-one fighting game that is just okay. It's probably better than a lot of other one-on-one fighting games that were made during the time, you know, that were trying to, you know, compete into that same Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat space. Hyperstone Heist is the Mega Drive or Genesis one. I never played this one that much. Again, I own it, but yeah, I never really got into it that much. But it's you know, sort of like a best of levels that has the Turtles in Time style gameplay. Oh boy, those scratchy Mega Drive voices, I'll tell you. Yeah, you actually start in the sewers in this version. You know, got a little parallax, which we didn't see, you know, a ton of in the Super Nintendo version, or at least some objects in the foreground. Again, you know, pretty well made, pretty competent game, but you know, I do feel that that most people will enjoy the Super Nintendo version more. But, you know, if you only had a Mega Drive during this time, you know, it's not like you were unhappy with this game. At least I don't think you would have been. It's a lot harder to grab in this version. Yeah, the pace is a little slower too. You can tell it doesn't move quite at the same speed as the Super Nintendo version or the arcade version, for that matter. But you know, still good looking, good sounding Mega Drive game. Does he not do a running move? Did they take that out of this game? Huh, I could have swore you could dash. I could have swore you could grab too. It's weird not being able to do that. Oh, okay, dash is a different button. That's right. I didn't think they took it away. On the arcade and the Super Nintendo, it was just if you held a direction in a certain, if you held it in the same direction, you know, a second later it would automatically dash. Or would initiate a dash. Here you have to hit a button. Yeah, then we kind of bust into like a mix of like the second level and the first level. Kind of reminiscent of the NES version. It was an interesting way to approach this game, you know, to give audiences something different, but still sort of give them the same kind of gameplay. I think this game has come to be more appreciated over the years. But as I said, most people are still going to want to play that Super Nintendo version. I think they did their best, and their best effort is really good. Yeah, and the levels are a lot longer. I mean, it takes a lot longer to get to a boss in this version. So used to just double tapping. It's weird how to hit another button. And third sub-level. My goodness. Yeah, you can turn on Rumble for these for all the games across the systems. So it's interesting to play with Rumble. Obviously, Rumble didn't exist when on these systems when they were released. Ah, it's a pretty catchy tune. I mean, they're all just, you know, riffs on the original theme song. But I think they managed to get the riffs, you know, different enough every time it plays. Yes, Teenage Turtles. Yeah, scratchy voices. I don't even know why they tried. Okay, next game. This should be the Mega Drive version of Tournament Fighters, which is actually a different game. So they are not the same game. The multi-platform games were actually different games, or at least Konami was trying to do that back in these days. You know, like the Contra games were different, Turtles games were different, the Tiny Toons games were different. That's right, it's only a 2-button game. So weird. But the default Genesis controller was only 3 buttons, so they had to make it for everyone, and not just for the people who sprung for the 6-button pad. Yeah, it's kind of like a faster-paced game. A little simpler in execution, but a little faster-paced. That's sort of typical of a Genesis versus a Super Nintendo game back in these days. I'm no good at this. And I have no motivation to get better at it either. Oh, instant replay. So fancy. Yeah, again, it's okay. I don't think a lot of people who are buying this collection are playing it for the Tournament Fighters games. Maybe. Ah, it's the notorious NES game. I don't think I've ever played... I don't think I've ever played this game. I think I played the 2, which was the arcade game. I remember this game being kind of expensive when it came out, so I couldn't afford it. Leonardo got caught. Oh no, Leonardo. You big dummy. Okay. You can't even move diagonally. So let's see here. Screen size, filter, border. I thought there were more options than this. It's so weird that there really isn't that many options. Yeah, the scrolling's a little weird, but I'm pretty sure the original game, the scrolling was a little weird as well. I don't know, it's not bad. I think we'll probably play this someday. Might be fun to do. Like that. Raphael got caught. Oh, I'm pretty sure Raphael died there. But yes, got caught. I don't know, who is Chainsaw Guy? Yeah, we don't have the right character for this. The other characters are dead, though. What can you do? There's a bad thing about NES games is that a lot of levels do kind of look the same. Have the same tile sets, you know. Limited storage on the cartridge, so. Yeah, that doesn't start off too bad. I guess the game gets, fairly difficult later on. Okay, and then this is the NES. This is the version that I had. The NES version of the arcade game. Again, this is something that really met the expectations of the players at the time. Because nobody really wanted that adventure-style game. Not with that arcade game out there teasing you. Again, I think a modern player will maybe find it too primitive, especially with the arcade game being in the collection. Well, they did as good a job as they could on the NES. It was a very limited system. I could have swore there were different, things that you could do. No? No? I thought you could turn on and off how the sprite behavior was and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's buried in some other menu. But the start button is reserved for either adding credits, or in the case of the Super Nintendo, behaving just like the start button. There is something about NES chiptunes, you know, really well done NES chiptunes, which is you know, incredibly catchy. All like these versions of the songs that get stuck in your head. And again, you know, really considering how primitive the hardware is, it's amazing what they could do with it. A really talented group of people making NES games in those days. You know, no benefit of like shared APIs and libraries. You know, no high-level language to, you know, extrapolate functions for you. Yes, the notorious sprite flicker. It would always drive me crazy. I think it's pretty much why I was more of a PC Engine gamer. You know, while the PC Engine also, you know, it also has a problem with flicker here and there. It wasn't just like a rampant problem that it was in the you know, the Master System and NES generation of games. You know, the Genesis and the PC Engine, for the most part, you know, you very rarely ran into sprite flicker. But, you know, I mean, obviously those games were, those machines were, you know, much more advanced, so. That's why I'm not really that nostalgic over the NES. I mean, I should be, because I did grow up with it, but, you know, in reality, you know, we were a poor family, so, you know, what I could afford was the 7800, which had significantly less games, and certainly nothing that was very sophisticated. I mean, the 7800 was, you know, not too much more than the 2600, especially in this library of games that it offered. That's kind of a long stage too, actually. I call the turtles just like look at the camera, but they look like sad every single time, like a big frown on their face. Okay, what's next? We got oh yeah, part 3 of the NES games. I don't think I ever owned this one, so this will be a new one for me. I mean, I think by this time, personally, I had really no interest in the Turtles, and especially on the NES. You know, wasn't when this game came out. I really wasn't playing the NES anymore. I've heard this was good though. Not a bad sounding game. Bummer dudes, it's Shredder. Turtles, I'm taking April along with Manhattan Island. If you want them back, come and get them. Oh, yeah, maybe? It looks like he's wearing glasses, but that's just his bandana. Yeah, it's the same style of gameplay that was the second game, you know, the arcade game. Oh, the NES version of the arcade game. Super weird how we had to refer to them. Yeah, I mean, it plays well. It certainly plays better than the than TMNT 2. Yeah, kind of a mindless game, but it's fun. And yeah, I mean, it's just the kind of game that we were playing back in these days. I know with people playing, you know, Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West, they think this game's too primitive. But you know, give it a chance. You actually might find that the ebb and flow of the game is actually pretty satisfying. I wonder why they went with a beach theme for Manhattan. I guess I don't think of beaches in Manhattan in the same sphere. I mean, it's not my first thought. Whoa, so sneaky, those ninjas. I have to admit, the Full Soldiers are they're probably the only characters in the TMNT universe that actually act like ninjas. All of our main character ninjas, like, just fighting out in the open. Yo. Yeah, I said there's just something kind of addicting about the way the game, you know, kind of, you know, the highs and lows of the game. That's what makes it, NES games still relevant. Is they still have that little bit of addictive quality to them, you know, even if the graphics and sound are not what you're used to. kind of funny. He has the same moves. Basically the same moves from the first game. Just like more aggressive. Ralph? Oh, Raph? No L in his name. Or I guess it's not Ralph. Raphael. I don't know why I want to pronounce it Ralph. Alright, and then the Tournament Fighters for the NES, which again, I don't think I've ever played this. I didn't even realize they released an NES version. But it sort of made sense. I mean, there were still, you know, millions of NESs at the time. A lot of people were still holding on to them. I think certainly a lot of parents at the time couldn't see the difference between a NES game, you know, a really well done NES game, and a Super Nintendo game, which is funny to think about now. But if you're only just looking at something cartoony, and you can't tell the differences in the sound and, you know, like the quality of the resolution, then yeah, you know, you might get a little confused. Might be angry at your kids for wanting something that looks exactly the same to you. Oh wait, am I on the right side? Oh, what? Oh, I guess we need tournament. I don't want to do story mode. That was weird. It's like, it didn't feel like I was playing. Actually, I was kind of wondering if I was. Player 3? What? How many players do we play at a time? Oh, I guess we're just setting up the tournament. Is that the idea? Ah, okay. That makes sense. Oh wow, whoa, it's so drastically different than all the other games. Boy, it definitely plays different. But you know, the NES only had, you know, 2 action buttons. You could squeeze some additional buttons out of select and start, but certainly weren't convenient to use. Whoa, wow, that's actually pretty impressive for an NES game. I mean, the character is actually pretty big, too. One Pwin. One Pwin! Yeah, I don't know how much combo potential there is in a game like this. Doesn't really seem like much. The computer's out for revenge. See why you made me look bad. That was the first round. This is not nice. I was like breaking out the special moves all day. Nah, I guess it just gives you the first round. After that, no holds barred. Yeah, I don't know. That's actually kind of cool. I mean, again, considering it's the NES, I think they did a good job with that game. I mean, I probably would have been happy with it if I only owned an NES. Oh, well, we're getting to the Game Boy games. Oh my gosh. The Game Boy was not my favorite system. Even though there was a lot of good stuff on there. You know, the original incarnation of the Game Boy was something that was very hard to see. Oh, the buttons are reverse. The Y button jumps in this. Okay. I mean, it's been pretty consistent that the Y button attacks across all the games. And then you get to the Game Boy, and it's like, nope. I'm gonna change that around. It's a pretty big sprite for the Game Boy. So that's impressive. Oh boy, it's so hard to get used to. Switching the buttons around. I mean, I'm sure you can change them. Oh, well, I'm glad it doesn't die in the water. I mean, I wouldn't expect a turtle to die in the water, but many Turtles games have been made where touching water is bad. I think the original NES game is that way, actually. Ah, okay. I mean, it's not terrible. It plays well enough. Again, I imagine I would have been happy playing this back in these days. Oh, keep pushing the wrong button to jump. So weird that they would make they would make you switch buttons when all the other games are set the opposite. Oh, you can go over that. Okay. Well, silly me. I thought that was a barrier. Nope. It's just a foreground object. Yeah, I mean, it's like closer to Castlevania than it is to like any of the other Turtles games. Again, kind of makes sense for this era and on the Game Boy. I mean, if you swap this out for a whip and change them all to like monster sprites, I mean, it would feel like a Castlevania game. Even the music's very, you know, Castlevania-ish. Huh, that's actually not bad. I'm kind of surprised at how fun that was. Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers. Okay. Again, never played these Game Boy ones. Game Boy wasn't my thing. Is it Batman? Alright, what do we got going on here? Oh, gosh. Yeah, look how big that sprite is. Again, for the Game Boy, it's pretty impressive. You know, unfortunately, limited animation, but, you know, just have to consider the limitations of the system. Yeah. Yeah. That's the sound the turtle makes. Yeah, that's my interpretation. What the? One of those frames of animation looked like he was an old sumo flipping over. I was like, what is that? Yikes. Yeah, look at that. It's like that flip. When his shell is sort of facing you. When it has like the back of the shell facing you. I swear it just looks like a old sumo wrestler in a loincloth. Look at my loin. My tender loin. Look at that. Actually, it's kind of weird playing a Game Boy game, you know, all blown up like this in 1080p. I mean, they did a good job getting the scaling right. I've certainly seen emulators, Game Boy emulators, look much worse than this. What? Now am I playing Strider? What in the heck? What is this music? It's crazy. It was so dramatic. It's like always the first boss across all the games. Well, maybe not the arcade games. Oh, again, kind of strangely addicting how the game is, even though it's like very, very simple. And then part 3, Radical Rescue. Oh, there we go, enhancements. Okay, so we had to get enhancements out here in the beginning. Helpful icons. Oh, that's it? Wow, not much. I guess I thought there was more that you could change. Radical Rescue! A year has passed since Shredder was defeated. Oh, well look, wow, the scrolling is like so dramatically, it's like so dramatically better with this third title. That is actually kind of shocking. It's actually at 60 hertz. Keep out. Oh, well. Guess I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I know, what's going on with his legs? Oh, I can just jump up there. What the hell am I doing? Let's just jump straight up. Oh, that's cool. I have a slow fall there. No, oh, jeez. Oh, what, did I pick up a health file or something? Look at those legs. Yeah, pretty catchy tune. Probably humming it all through the day. Oh, we got a map. Oh, okay. Wow, this was probably gonna take a while to play. Then I would. This is like a proper console game, and not just an action game. Yeah, again, to me, the most surprising thing is the for a card is the 60 hertz scrolling. The other two games were like super choppy. Need something else, huh? Well, that's actually kind of cool. That's a real surprise. And wow, that's it. That's all the games. Okay, yeah. So we, I guess we'll just stop it right there. This is audap'strophe. You've been watching TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I'd say they did a really good job with this collection. All the games run at full speed. No problems with the emulation. They do feature some enhancements that you can set. To kind of help you along if you don't want to play just the vanilla modes. I'm a little disappointed that there aren't enough screen filters. They do have some decent ones, but nothing to like have a smooth image. Maybe people don't want that. I don't know. But that is kind of cool. There are additional settings you can have before you jump into the game. Essentially cheat codes without having to punch in the cheat code. Remove slowdown, remove splice flicker. Oh, that's cool. I wonder how dramatically that changes that. Well, like I said, we'll actually go into some of these games and have individual videos on them. But I want people to see and get a feel for what they potentially might be buying if they're interested in it. It is $39.99 USD on the Switch and other systems, and it's available pretty much everywhere. So yeah, whatever system you have, or if you have a PC, then you can get these games. Again, I don't know how modern audiences feel about a good majority of these, since most of them are beat 'em ups, with really only the NES game, the first NES game, and the third Game Boy game being more Metroid style games. So I still think you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of games here for the price, and even though some of these share the same titles, the Turtles on the Genesis were different than the Turtles on the Super Nintendo and NES and arcade. So they're all very, very different games. Even though they're all developed, by the same or published by the same company, but different development teams having different ideas on how to do a Turtles game. So yeah, definitely check it out. If you are a fan, if you're curious, I think you're still going to get some good games. Just bear in mind that they are like more shallow action games, but they do have a really good ebb and flow, and I think even a modern audience could get into them. Certainly the arcade games and the Super Nintendo game, I think would be worth the price. So yeah, check it out. And like I said, over the next couple weeks, we'll do individual playthroughs. We'll see how far I get in the original NES one. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.